for liberation just have vastly different understandings of what liberation is for.
I haven't seen this much importance and attention.
The story itself is a really wonderful, really great setup.
Tractor beam has been engaged.
Hello, everyone. I forgot how peppy that intro song is. There we go. Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome to the Tractor Beam Comics Reviews, your one-stop shop for in-depth commentary and discussion on this week's Star Wars comics. A few weeks ago, Star Wars comics. One book came out this week. Two that came out in the last few weeks. Yes, it is Wednesday, January 7th, 2026. It is the first week of comics in 2026. But as mentioned, we're going to also look at books from the 52nd and 53rd week of comics in 2026, 2025, I should say. And are you guys still doing your podcast? Apparently we are. There we go. All right. Yes, I'm Matthew. That's Chris. Chris, welcome back. Happy New Year. How were your holidays?
Oh, they were great. I got time off of work, so that's always a good thing. I finished reading this Witcher novel, which was great. Played a pretty good amount of video games in the meantime that I could. Got a new vehicle. So a lot happened in the last 2-3 weeks, so it's been good.
There we go. Hopefully we'll not get too snowed out down there in New Jersey. Even though I'm not too snowed out here in Toronto. It's all right. But we'll get to the plugs out of the way. You can follow us, follow this podcast socials at thetractorbeam.bisky.social, as I say, Tractor Beam, at the Tractor Beam. Search the Tractor Beam Star Wars Comics Reviews. For Twitter, Instagram, everything else, check out at the SWU, the flagship. We'll get into a bit more of that in a minute. But yeah, they make sure I make sure to send them lots of comics news and different things for when they when things come up and breaking news happens. Also, everything Chris is up to is on Twitter and YouTube at Starraptor, StarRapter. That's youtube.com/Starraptor, and I should say x.com/Starraptor Twitter. There you go. So check that out. We'll pick those up again at the end when we're doing our sign off. But yeah, those are our socials. If audio is more your speed, if you prefer to listen rather than watch, or if you're driving or walking or whatever it is, right after we record, after we're done recording tonight, I will throw this up onto Spotify and Apple. So just search Tractor Beam, the Tractor Beam Star Wars Comics Reviews is what it is there in audio. Just hopefully get the word out. If you prefer that medium, let us know. Always good to get some feedback there. And as mentioned, we are part of the Star Wars Underworld podcast network. Here on the Underworld YouTube channel, we have YouTube memberships and we got super chats. So we're very grateful for any support you can provide to the channel and to the network. If you comment below, as mentioned, as you saw, we'll get to it when we can, when it fits in the flow of the conversation. But if you super chat with us, we will get to it immediately. We'll interrupt whatever we're saying to get to that comment, because we're that grateful for any support you can provide to the network. Last but not least, the Discord server, the Star Wars Underworld Discord server. Down in the description below, you can find a minty fresh link that'll get you in there. We're talking Star Wars comics, actually. Nice little discussion on Legacy of Vader. Talking all the on-screen news about Star Wars and just different ideas and questions, and some movie nights, some game nights going on there. So check the announcements tab when you get in there and you'll find out all that. And if not, then just tag Joel. He's in there too, just to ask him a question. So yeah, check that out. Ben is in there as well, pretty active. So the Star Wars Underworld Discord server. All right, well, again, we'll pick up those plugs again at the end. Let's dive right into the book that did come out today. This is one we're not catching up on. We're hot off the press here. Tides of Terror #4 of 4. This is written by George Mann, art by Luis Morocco and LeBeau Underwood, colors by Michael Attier, and letters by Comicraft's Tyler Smith, friend of the show, and Bobby Bradford, which is a new name encountering there. Cover by Eduardo Mello and Valentina Tadeo. Here's a description. After making a startling discovery about the cause of the disaster, Jedi Master Kit Fisto dives to the seafloor in a last-ditch effort to rescue. Oh, sorry, I'm yawning. I have my coffee. In the last-ditch effort to rescue those trapped on the sinking Axel research station. Among the submerged ruins, he comes face to face with the fearsome Zorfin. Can Fisto best the monsters and save the station, or will the remaining researchers become Leviathan food? And yes, of course he does. He's Kit Fisto. I mean, come on. Does it with his gleaming smile. I mentioned in the description, in the episode description, he does that gleaming smile twice, I think, in this issue.
Oh.
I kind of wonder if George Mann, he set out to write this book, and what he was doing was like, okay, that iconic moment from the Clone Wars arc, or from Attack of the Clones, actually. But probably shows up in the Clone Wars arc too. That iconic moment from Attack of the Clones, where he's just incredibly toothy smile. He looks back at you in the middle of all this chaos from the Geonosians attacking, and whatnot, and then the clones attacking, and said, "Okay, let's make a comic book out of that. Let's make a comic book kind of out of that character, and how he dives down into the underworld, or into the depths there, and you're true to Jedi form, I think, especially someone who we already in the previous issue he'd already started to communicate to these animals, discovering that they're being trapped by these I don't know if they're not bounty hunters, but this underworld gang, and that has caused all this havoc on the station. And of course, he rescues them, he sets them free, and so he's like, okay, can you help me now? Another kind of classic Jedi enlists the help of a large creature, which, you know what, I'm here for it. I like it. Sure. It was one. I also wonder with George Mann if he set out to write this comic like, okay, I've just done the Wreath Silas discovering this ancient secrets of the Nameless and all this. I bet I can do a simpler story and a more all fun story. Either that, or, and I'm not knocking it, I'm just saying interesting contrast here. Either that, or there was a version. Can you mention a few issues ago? Curious about these ruins, and maybe there was a version that really dug deep into these ruins, or just kind of the idea of them. And the folks at Dark Horse said, well, can you make it a bit of a simpler story for younger readers, and kind of and connect to Nadar and his burgeoning sense of responsibility, and not just responsibility, what's the word, competence, right? We only get this one unfortunate moment with him in Clone Wars where he's completely overconfident. It ends up costing him literally everything. This tragic moment of his own hubris. But what's a lot before this? What's a bright moment in his life here, in his time as Kit Fisto's Padawan? And here is one, and he's the self-insert character where, again, just like Ahsoka, just like a lot of these other younger characters, you see a Jedi learning, knowing, having the presence of mind to stop and connect with the thing that they're told is a threat, but maybe not. I mean, like my favorite novel, Master and Apprentice, similar kind of thing. A lot of stories like this. Rebels with the Purgle. I mean, that's Ezra the Purgle, right? So, again, nothing too terribly deep with this comic, but that's fine.
It's an all ages book. I don't expect there to be. You know what I mean? If it's a Marvel book, yes, it should be. But
Marvel book or a High Republic Dark Horse book, yes. And George Mann's High Republic Dark Horse books were like with Echoes of Fear, amazing. That's the comic.
And that's the bar, right? That's the kind of the bar that we have set.
Yeah.
So when you get something like this, it's like, oh, it's a fun time. It's kind of hard to compare the two because we're going from a spanning saga that's interconnected with all these other stories to something that it's just very insular, very compartmentalized into just a quick 4 issues, bam.
Yeah. I mean, he also wrote one of the young reader books in High Republic too. So, yeah, I mean, great to see he has such a range then. storytelling.
That's a
so
good way.
and as a comic book issue, yeah, it was a good, satisfying ending. Really moved the action forward. Not too sure what Mace Windu was doing there. Mason, I forget who the other. I don't even remember who the other Jedi he's with is.
Shakti, I think.
Shakti. That's fine. Again, that might also be a vestige of another storyline or something. But yeah, again, I'm not saying it was bad. I'm glad we got it. It was a fun adventure. I'm always for more prequel of Space Wizards. So yeah, it's good. Kind of keep this going. Hopefully, it did well with the sales, but nothing terribly deep. So pretty fun book. That's all I got to say. Chris, I'll throw it to you. What do you think of this one and of the run as a whole?
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed the connection of both Padawan and Master. I think George Mann set out to really show us and show not tell with the two characters in Adar and Kit Fisto. We've seen them in Clone Wars, but again, I love getting these stories like in Jedi Knights. You get these stories of what happens when the Jedi are not fighting battle droids. What is their day-to-day activity? What are their missions like in a time of peace, relative peace in the entire galaxy? You're gonna have conflicts on specific planets, and they're dealing with this political situation and whatnot. But again, it's like the lessons that he teaches Nadar, patience, and all these different tenets of the Jedi. It's great to see that. Great to see when this was announced, like, oh yeah, we got Kit Fisto in an ocean type water world storyline. Fits perfectly with the character. We get to see Kit Fisto do what he does best, right? He's an aquatic nautilus species. We get to see him doing a damn thing of swimming around, interacting with the ocean wildlife, finding these offspring, and then that being like the linchpin in the whole idea of, oh, this story is not going to go the way you think. Like, oh yeah, these things are ravenous, dangerous creatures, but it's only because the offspring have been taken and he was allowing them to see, like, hey, I'm a friendly, like, and then he ended up helping him. And it's a great Star Wars story where, just like the Purgle you mentioned, the wildlife in Star Wars is part of the living force, part of the balance of the force. And to see a Jedi master like him come out with a very clever solution that it was kind of like a Hail Mary pass, like, oh, will this maybe work? And it does. It was really cool to see that. And while I was disappointed that, like, ooh, we were teeing up these ruins as like, ooh, maybe there was some cool High Republic lore or something that maybe he'll sprinkle in. We didn't get any of that. That's okay. I think the story itself did its job, didn't overstay its welcome. In this case, I think 4 issues was a good amount of story. I didn't feel like anything was rushed, as we sometimes say here on the podcast with some of these 4 issues. We were like, oh, we could have just got that last final 5th issue and would have been really clean ending. But yeah, I really liked it. And as I said on my review earlier today, I'm like, we just got to get Dark Horse to keep producing comics like these. Just give us comics that are 4-issue runs that are all over the timeline, that really focus on the obscure characters like Kit Fisto that we don't really know much about other than a couple Clone Wars episodes and Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. Like, you give us them. We're going to be talking about, the Rogue Agents comic, which is starting off strong as well.
Yeah.
This is the bread and butter of the comic book industry, of really getting cool character pieces that shine a light on the attributes and the skills and just the cool factor of some of these characters. So I think they did their job there.
Yeah, it's almost, with just taking maybe a wider lens here, we're getting these stories before the Clone Wars, even before the Naboo crisis. We're seeing the contrast of the Jedi, even at this time, with what they're forced to do in the war. Here in relative peacetime, they can afford to stop and listen and figure out, okay, what's the best way to solve this problem, figure this out, the situation. Whereas during the war, I think that forces them into a lot hastier action. I mean, it's no wonder Anakin shines in the Clone Wars, because he he's all about that, rushing in foolhardy, sabers whirring, not guns a-blazing, sabers whirring, although he has the first go guns a-blazing. But this contrast at this time period, Kit Fisto, definitely the right character to just take that plunge, like you said, and just go exploring. Even like in this issue, in issue number 3, I think it's the silent kind of splash pages. I think they're splash pages are the ones that really stood out. You have to, because the reader has to stop, and that's the thing about silent pages. The reader has to stop and just pace your internal camera, if you will, the way you think you should. Like, gives us kind of this control, so we have to be intentional about when we start to look at the different panels. Like, how do we think Kit Fisto's swimming through the water here? I mean, that I think that happens a lot, and that's kind of the skill I found is need to pick up in comic reading. It's the perfect thing here. Like, he goes down and he has to, probably even in that moment, is starting to wonder if something else is afoot. So I agree that having Kit Fisto be the one there. Also, Nadar, really wonderful moment near the end there where he gives these guys a choice. He gives this guy a choice. You can turn on your gang and actually help save the rest of the people on the station. It's like, it's too late for me, kind of thing. And they end up getting arrested. They end up getting stopped by the fish and whatnot. But again, let's get more of Nadar. Let's rehabilitate him some more, because Mon Calamari Padawan, who is figuring things out, and where does that sense of arrogance come from also that we see. So really, is there are things that George Mann has set up in this one, things that have been layered into it. Sure, some things us adult readers would like maybe more of, but overall a good, successful, very get the kids into the prequel Space Wizards. There we go. That's what I say. There we go. All right. Anything further on Tides of Terror number 4 before we move on? All right. So speaking of clones and guns a-blazing and clankers, we got the Bad Batch Rogue Agents number 1, written by Michael Morrissey, art by Reese Hannigan and Elisabetta D'Amico, colors by Michael Attier, letters by Comicraft's Heather Smith and Bobby Bradford, and cover by Valeria Favoccia. The Bad Batch is back, darn it. When a separatist scientist and his dangerous invention go missing during the Clone Wars, Clone Force 99 is sent to track him down and prevent the device from falling into the wrong hands. But when Hunter, Wrecker, Crosshair, and Tech arrive at the scientist's abandoned laboratory, they quickly realize that they aren't the only ones on his trail, and that this mission will be different than any that they faced before. Chris, I'll throw this to you. What do you think of Bad Batch Rogue Agents number 1?
Okay, so over on the Outer Rim Transmission podcast, while the Bad Batch season 3 was airing, we know that there was, what was his name? Torch or something? Like one of the Republic commandos, Scorch.
Yeah.
He was the last man standing in the age of the Empire, in the early days of the Dark Age of the Dark Days of the Empire there. And we're always, me, Milton, and Ben are always saying, like, wouldn't it be really cool if the Bad Batch like fought the full Republic Commando Squad in like one of the final episodes? Like, and it never happened. Well, guess what? Somebody heard us, and they said, hey, this guy said they want to have a match of clones against clones, and here we go. So that's my big takeaway from this one. Is it is so cool to see this different idea of clones basically defecting. We don't know enough about it yet to confirm if they're working for the Confederacy of Independent Systems Separatists or not, but I still like the idea that clones have such independent thought processes versus droids that there already was a defector with the one guy from the Clone Wars series.
Cut
McQuaid.
Not tough.
So
Yeah.
it's not like the precedent has already been set years ago
Mhm.
that this could be a big plot point. So to
Mhm.
see like an entire squad that is still actively working as a mercenary unit or something, I'm very curious because that is something that hasn't been explored much. But
Right.
I'm looking at the artwork right now, and it's the artwork is absolutely amazing. The artwork here is
Mhm.
so stylized, and it just fits the imagery so well of what we know as the Bad Batch here. Oh,
Mhm.
you have a physical copy with you?
Yeah, because it came out a few weeks ago, right? Like when they get stuck with the Rancor. Rancor's
Yeah.
in space. Amazing. Well, not quite in space, but yeah, really dynamic, really engrossing action. Yeah, I agree. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
get
this is
going.
this is, this is amazing. We're used to seeing them fighting droids, but
Mhm.
now that it's fighting other clones, like, I'm curious
Mhm.
to see where the story goes. Just the morality, the ethics of it is like, "Oh, we're, like,
Mhm.
kind of fighting our brothers here. How do they feel? What's going through their heads?"
Yeah.
Um, so a great first issue that has me definitely intrigued. Didn't expect this actually from where they're going here.
Yeah. It, it it's a banger. It's that's the way to put it. Um yeah, because you I mean you have Cut LaQuaine. You have the similar story ish with the clone in Bad Batch Sanctuary. Forget his name. But yeah. So even but so those are like the more benevolent, you know, they they defect because they just want to raise a family. And of course in Bad Batch, you know, they go back to Cut because they're also rogues now. Here we have a different angle on what clones can do and clones would want to do. They become bounty hunters. I
Mhm.
actually think they are. I mean, I think it's pretty clearly implied that that they got a contract with for the separatists at least. That seems to be at
What's
least
his
what
name?
Tech. Yeah, what that clone is. Yeah, you can search for it. Um, yeah, yeah, like Tech seems to assume, or Tech and Hunter seem to assume that they have a contract. These other guys have a contract with the separatists, which means like not that they're just defectors or even traitors, but they're rogues. And to
Mm.
say that they can really be that independent, which is again, we didn't even think that was possible. We thought,
Yeah.
right, the training and whatnot. Now, also, you notice they have phase one armor, so it's
I
still,
seen.
yeah, it's still relatively early,
I don't
and
and here's the theory though.
yeah,
I don't think it is. I think because these guys
mhm,
defected in the early onset of the Clone Wars, they're not gonna
yeah,
have the upgraded, Phase 2 armor at this
sure,
point. So they're obviously not gonna get the gear loadouts that they're
yeah,
current with the Republic Army, so that's what they're dealing with right now.
hmm,
I do love the captain look,
yeah,
the Captain Cole, I don't even know if that's his rank, but the leader of the squad
yeah,
there,
Colonel,
Cole,
and yeah,
he looks like straight out of the Tarkovsky Clone Wars
yeah,
character.
the red. So
Yeah.
here's this
Yeah.
group.
Oh, looks so good.
Yeah,
Looks so
I
good.
mean,
Like, I'm actually
yeah,
tempted to, like, make one of my Star
yeah,
Wars Legion miniature squads to look
hmm,
like this squad now.
yeah. He totally evokes that
Fordo,
like
Captain Fordo,
yeah,
right?
Fordo totally evokes Fordo. You know, so I see it, my kind of, we can be a bit nerdy for a second here. My counter there is that the batch uh they don't comment on, oh, you have such outdated armor, why haven't you updated your armor, kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be early on. Maybe the
So it could be
first
early.
arc of of the Bad Batch was,
Yeah,
like, one of their first missions or something.
yeah. So
Hmm.
but also to say though is um they that you know, I mean they're training, it's early on. They, at least we know, at least they defected earlier. That at some sort of weird, I mean, it could be a mutation. I mean, that's the question with clones. Is it nature or nurture? Is it this mutation that's gotten them to want to defect and be self-interested in this way? That's what I'm getting at, is
Wow.
these clones that are out for to make a profit. Like they want money, which you think clones, even the Bad Batch, who also have these other, the other mutations, they aren't there to make money. I mean, at this point, they're there to serve the Republic. Of course, once we see them in the show, they're there to resist the Empire, to help Pabu, help different people they come across. Yeah, it's fascinating. I really hope we go into this a little more. Where did these guys come from? How did this happen? I trust Michael Morrissey to give us this, and even if he doesn't, this still was such an exciting story that really, was a throttle, was a full throttle action adventure, but also again showing the character. I mean, the big character moment for me is when Hunter and Tech especially start to see things were amiss, something's off, right? And it's not just that they not just that they happen to be on the same mission, which is unusual. Even the whole thing about asking questions, right? Which is this, I mean, almost I wonder if it's with this other group, them trying to throw them off the scent a little bit, because they've not just asking questions of the Republic, they're just not even accepting any answers from them, whereas maybe that's a hint too. Maybe that's why they defected, is they felt it was just too rigid. Whereas here they have this Bad Batch, and they're surprised at how flexible they can be with ability to ask questions and figure out where they're going and what they're supposed to be doing. So it's going to be an interesting contrast for that reason. And then just like, so the art, the dynamic action, really really great work by Reese and Elisabetta and Michael, as always. Michael actually always knocks it out of the park. So yeah, it was a great start. I trust that they'll continue this strong, even to continue with these Bad Batch anthology stories, which I'm here for.
Oh yeah, I think that it was cool that they threw in their Rancor, because we know that they fight the Rancor later on in the series. So it's like, okay, they're familiar fighting this kind of creature before. So that it retroactively kind of makes it make more sense, or add to the continuity of it all. But yeah, I mean, it's great that we're getting these series. I hope they just keep making Bad Batch series every year. Because that's one big factor is like, yeah, we got to see the Bad Batch, but that was after the Republic basically was done with at that point. So there's that 3-year time period of like, oh yeah, what got these guys the reputation that they got? And it's because of the missions, the interstitial space that we're seeing between the two movies, fleshing them out. And just again, the Bad Batch is just made for comic books. I feel like these characters are just really fun, high octane, like you said, action. You think of comics, you think of action, and this definitely is one of the best representations of the zaniness, of the quick quips, and all these kind of things with the dialogue. Just great stuff all around.
Some laugh out loud moments, like like Wrecker, Hunter, you're no fun. Tell him Crosshair. I actually have this memorized. Wrecker, you're no fun. Tell him Crosshair. And Crosses all. Wrecker, we even I know I'm the least fun group of these guys. Now stop distracting me. And then also like also Crosshair with Hunter with the Rancor. Are you crazy? You're just finding this out now. So Michael Morrissey, he was born to write these guys. I mean, I would
really
if you write. I mean, keep giving him. This is such an at home. Again, we said this about Ghost Agents. Yeah, he's just such at home in these voices and these different voices. You can easily have them in your head. The last thing I want to point out here, Dr. Ergen Laszlo.
Okay.
Another kind of quasi Eastern European mad scientist. He's Pantoran, but he even has the goggles and everything in the hair. It's like, and then of course this experiment blows up. It kind of reminds me of also in the Clone Wars that scientist on Naboo. With the
that guy. The blue shadow virus guy. Yeah,
the blue shadow virus guy. These mad scientists. It also kind of reminds me of almost not Red Skull. Oh, what's his name? The guy who shows up. Yeah. Oh man, Zoller.
Oh man, what is his name?
Is
Zoller.
Zoller. Yeah. Like the other German. He shows up in.
That guy, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know. I know. Well, he shows up in
a comic books. Like, doesn't he get his body separated? He's just a head or something at that point.
Oh, probably. Oh my gosh, what movie is that? Why am I blanking on this? The second
Civil War,
Captain America. No, the second one, Winter Soldier. Yeah, when Steve and Natasha go down into the bunker. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. So that kind of the bespectacled Eastern European mad scientist. There we go. I want to see. I hope he doesn't. I hope he survived this blast because I want to see more. So there we go. Michael Morrissey, keep writing Bad Batch comics because we want to read them. Anything else before we move on to Boba Fett?
Nope. Let's talk about the man with few words.
Man with few words and less opinions. There we go. Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red, number 4, written by Alyssa Wong. That's why I wore the shirt. Art by Sarah Pichelli, colors by Rochelle Rosenberg, letters by VC's Joe Caramagna, and cover by Ken Lashley and Juan Fernandez. Boba Fett versus the Shadow of Bree Frang. A murderer in the Tarkin family puts Boba Fett on the hunt for a ruthless killer. Things get even more wild as bounty hunter Raslin Grace joins the fray. Will Boba get to the bottom of the murder, or will Raslin's violent ways stop him dead in his tracks? This was so. I'll admit. So first off, this ended up as a great issue. I enjoyed this issue. While I was reading it, first of all, I'd forgotten who Raslin Grace was.
I didn't realize it until I listened to the Splash Page podcast where they mentioned that character was in another of her stories before. It flew right by my head. I gotta admit.
Yeah. So the Wookiee article says she was hired to hunt Cheli down. So another Cheli connection there. So probably, is this in an Alyssa Wong? Yeah, it's in an Alyssa Wong run. So this is a character that they developed and bringing it back as you do in Star Wars. Why not? And so, but at first I was like, oh, this is kind of weird. Why do I care? I don't care about this aristocrat who hunts for sport. He just wants, to have fun, or not. Well, to have fun. See if she can do it. See if he can kill Boba Fett. See if she can kill the Shadow of Bree Frang there. But as it progresses and as we see the contrast, see what the Shadow of Bree Frang is all about, which was a brilliant callback and a little bit to High Republic. I thought, what's the High Republic angle here? Because of Alyssa, of course, is Team Luminous. It's definitely, it's Ariada City and it's Bree Frang.
Yes.
And the massive class differences. There's even a panel there we see Bree Frang, which I used to thought was Bifrang, this Bree Frang or Bri Frang. And Ariada City is all nice and Ariada City's all nice and gleaming and high tech. And I'm trying to find this one panel where Boba goes to Bree Frang just to figure out what's this character on about. And it's the same reaction I had. Not only do they not care about these aristocrats who kill for fun, don't care about money, they have serious grievances against them, right? It's this massive class indifference that they're fighting against. And so here's this almost like a Batman-ish character, or more like a Robin Hood almost, sort of, right? Like trying to go and take out at least specifically take out Sidna Tarkin, and there's of course the Tarkin connection. Yeah, gotta have a Tarkin connection here. If you're gonna do Ariadu.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you're gonna do Tarkin, if you're gonna do Ariadu, well, if you're gonna do a Tarkin connection, you got to go to Ariadu. Is the other way around there. But yeah, this really fascinating Shadow of Briefrang, who wants to, at the very least, I mean, at the end, she says, "I've already made my mark. I've already put a dent into these super powerful, aloof families, the billionaire class who think they're invincible, kind of thing." And here she is able to infiltrate an imperial academy and assassinate the niece of Wilf Tarkin, who doesn't care. He's like, I don't have time for failure. But yeah, to see these, well, just my point being to see the contrast between these two masked characters, and how with Boba Fett he has opinions, but he has to stuff them for now at this point in his life, at this point in his career, has to stuff them because he has a mark, right? It's almost, I even thought about this, it's even a play on the title, right? Morality can be black and white sometimes, but Boba's job is red. Boba's job is to make the mark. And and so yeah, he has to say, I have opinions, but whether or not I agree with what this Shadow of Briefrang is doing, I have a job to do. And the job is Wilf's presumably sister-in-law, who says that he's completely abandoned the family. He's off in
That's
Coruscant
news to me. I wanted to talk about that. That's really interesting.
Yeah, so we can definitely get into that. But he goes and picks up this, make this mark using Raslin as bait, which was also this
brilliance of Boba Fett.
Yeah, brilliant moment. Again, this youthful arrogance, almost, in a way, just realizing this kind of helps with what the Shadow of Briefrang is trying to do also, right? The grievance against this era of invincibility, aloofness, not actually like making choices that just serve their own power and their own financial standing, and continue to build up Ariadu City as opposed at the expense of Briefrang. Yeah, it was a great last issue. These Black, White, and Red books are anthologies also. So yeah, it was a great contained story that I enjoyed. And yeah, the art, I'm trying to think if it mattered that it was a Black, White, and Red. That's the only thing I'm wondering, is if it would have been just as effective or even more effective. We would have maybe had a sense of who Raslin was, or something, if it was just in full color. I don't know. But yeah, that was otherwise, again, with that little pun that I made up with Black, White, and Red. But all in all, really fascinating. Throw it to you, what are your kind of general thoughts and feels, and then what really stood out to you with this Tarkin conflict?
Yeah, what stood out to me is Boba Fett enlisting the help of the little street urchin with the Melu runs or whatever he was collecting, and he was just like, here, take this. Now you can help me. Where's this person at? Or tell me more about this target. So I like.
Is this a bribe? Yes.
Yeah, I like Boba Fett. Just, he's a smart guy. Like, I don't think we've given him credit, or at least I haven't thought about him being almost like the Batman type with his cleverness, with like both in combat and like investigation. But there's a reason why he's the best of the best, right? He doesn't get to that moniker and that kind of reputation unless he has that kind of way of getting every target he wants. And so I like that. Obviously I really loved this was being like a nice love letter to the High Republic, but seeing it in the original trilogy. We've seen Ariadu in a little bit of a different way with the Vader one shot kind of story with Tarkin, right?
Yes, yeah, and the is it the Charles Soule Vader?
Yeah.
Or is it the Yeah.
But since like the High Republic has really painted such a beautiful,
Mhm.
detailed picture of what Iriadu City is, what Fang City is, like this detailed two
Mhm.
cities here. Kind of reminds me of the Arcane series where you have Piltover and then the Undercity, where it's these like two
Mhm.
vastly different cities that are like
Yeah.
right next to each other. One's impoverished, one's rich, and it's a real cool dichotomy. So to see Boba Fett, a legacy character that is interacting with this all High Republic thing,
Sure.
folding in the lore of the Tarkins, and just me kind of getting my mind blown of like, oh yeah, like there's a lot of other Tarkins out there, but he has completely separated himself from the rest of his family due
Mhm.
to the power and the influence and his major priority being the Empire over anything else in his life. So even getting that little tidbit was a really kind of cool thing that I didn't really think or know about. But just some good combat, like some sniper shots going off against his Beskar armor,
Mhm.
deflecting, and the idea of this person is as Raslinwell, um, basically just going like, "Hey, I don't even need credits. I'm
Mhm.
just doing this for fun to say I could do it." Like we don't often see characters like that. Their motivations are usually money or revenge. This character is out there just going, "I'm doing it because I could do it." So I thought that was an interesting way of
Yeah.
going about it. But looking at the overall arc or the overall 4 issues, I think this did really good for fleshing out Boba Fett, giving him these layers. Like the one issue, the previous one, I think it was with Ethan Sachs, giving
Yeah.
us even that side to side look of him as a young up and comer. And then getting that,
Mhm.
juxtaposed to where he was in the future. But yeah, just peeling back the layers, as I said, getting to see what makes him tick, what his motivations are, why he's so good at what he does. And I think if that was the mission statement of these 4 issues,
Mhm.
to get to show the reputation of why he is infamous, then I think it did its job through all the writers, through all the artists. This was really good. And it's great that we got this because for the longest time, Boba Fett was a character that like the writers couldn't do a lot with. Like I think even Ethan Sachs talked about this. Like he could only have Boba Fett in the Bounty Hunters run for like only a couple issues because like I guess they were afraid that he would like overpower
Mhm.
all the other original characters. So like you got to use him sparingly. So to get him his old mini series like this, even though it's not really interconnected, it was still great to see. Yeah, so I
Mhm.
enjoyed him.
Yeah, I agree. It was like you're saying with a deeper look into what he can do. Right. We spent the last I guess 20 something years kind of mining his own backstory since Attack of the Clones again. Mining his own backstory, what that means, you know. I'm guessing in Legends there was a lot more maybe about what he could do, what he's capable of. Oh, sorry. But yeah, here I mean this issue is him at his most strategic. I thought. I haven't seen him be this clever. I mean, usually he's able to get the angle on people like a step or two ahead. I mean, he's not quite Thrawn level here, but kind of in that territory of really planning ahead. I presume this whole thing with Raslin is the bait was real, was the actual plan. Or yeah, it seems like it was the plan. But yeah, it was a good character study, both in what he can do, but also in this question of uh what happens when a bounty hunter has opinions. Well, we see that ultimately, right, in Book of Boba Fett. The one, the shining, I guess the silver lining in that cloud is, oh yeah, we see Boba Fett taking on this mantle of responsibility. We see the Mandalorian as well. He goes and helps get Grogu from Tython. So
Mm-hmm.
where I don't know, maybe I'm reading something into this with what Alyssa was doing with this, but it's almost seeding into it where when he's on Tatooine, he crawls out of the pit and he encounters the Tuskens.
Yeah.
Okay, there he has an opinion and he acts on it. Right. I mean, I want to see more of those episodes. here I think there's kind of seeding in by way of contrast, saying this is an earlier time where kind of the opposite of what I was saying with the Jedi, right? The Jedi, that's an earlier time where they can afford to stop and really figure out what the right path is. The Clone Wars prevents that. Whereas here, at this time in the Empire, when he's a bounty hunter and that's all he really is, whenever he has the tension to potentially be more than that, right? He has to say, no, my job is the job. And then later on, I mean, he faces this near-death experience in the Sarlacc pit. Then he starts to say, no, I'm going to be more than this. I'm going to, I'm going to be older. I'm going to say life actually maybe has something worth doing beyond revenge for my dad. We saw that in Clone Wars. Beyond making the buck and the reputation. We have these face turns that elicited with Chelly, similar kind of face turn, right? Yeah, to use that phrase. So, yeah, I agree. Great run. Maybe the art made things maybe seem different, seem edgier. I don't know if I'll get the Treasury edition like I do with the with the other two, but yeah, it's an interesting thing. I mean, I wonder what's next for these Star Wars.
That's what I was about to ask. What do you think comes next?
Like,
what legendary violent character could we see? Some Grievous one? Maybe a Grievous one would be a good one.
Goodness. Grievous, black, white, and gray. No, I'm just kidding. No. Oh my goodness.
Grievous.
Dooku.
Dooku, maybe.
Dooku. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, with the red saber. Oh, that'd be pretty sick.
Mace Windu, black, white, and purple. That'd be amazing, and that'd be go full Sam Jackson.
Yeah,
the Clone Wars. Just go full.
Yeah,
Sam
we
Jackson.
gotta channel the Shatterpoint. We gotta channel the Oh my goodness! What is his special form? He's with a lightsaber.
Oh yeah,
the aggressive like dark side version of like the lightsaber combat that Depa Blob also uses. Vapod.
Yeah, Vapod.
Vapod. Yeah.
That's a good question. Yeah, who would be the next? Yeah, the next black, white, and red. If you're watching, in the comments, let us know what you think. That'll be good. That'll be good. Good poll to do on the blue sky, on the socials. Yeah, who should get the next black, white, red Star Wars book? I'll mull over that too. Let's see. I mean, Kylo Ren, maybe.
Oh, that's an easy one. Yeah, that's a softball. They'll probably do that one next.
Yeah, sure.
It's just any like dark sider with a red lightsaber. It's easy to do.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is what you think of. Let's see, Darth Bane, black, white, and red. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if that's the first time they bring him into canon? Well, he's kind of canonized, but like his first real story, it's like, we're just gonna give him like an anthology series.
That might be the way to do it. That might be the way to do it, just because kind of a soft launch, if you will. I say that soft launch, not quite, but yeah. No, yeah, it's probably gonna be Kylo Ren. Get Charles to write all 4 issues. Why not? There you go. So yeah, any last thoughts on this one? Boba Fett, Black Red.
Really.
Well, speaking of Kylo Ren, and his father. So Hunt for Han Solo, that also came out today. Legacy of Vader number 12 is coming out next week. And of 12, you see a 5 of 5.
Everything's coming to an end.
Everything's coming to an end. That's the thing, Tides of Terror is done. Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red is done. Rogue Agents is just getting started. We have them all book coming out. But yeah, Han Solo. Hunt for Han Solo. Wow, I'm Hunt for Ben Solo. Hunt for the Falcon. That's what I meant to say. For the Falcon. You know what it is? You know why that happened? Probably.
We're rusty. It's been 2 weeks.
I'm rusty, but also I update the on the Underworld Facebook page. I check the count on the petition. It's like, okay, Hunt for the Falcon, number 5, which you've read, but don't tell me anything more about it. And yeah, Legacy Vader number 12. I'm not ready for this book to be done. I'm not ready for Legacy Vader to be done, but also the more thoughtful part of me says, yeah, 12 issues is perfect.
I think it's going to be a perfect time.
Yeah.
To reveal at the end of that issue, April 2026, the next arc begins. We'll take a 2-month hiatus.
Yeah.
Let people catch up, build up the hype, and April we're back for the next 12-issue installment, which will bring us into the Rise of Skywalker.
That would be something.
Because that would be perfect timing, because they wouldn't have to wait for the solicits to spoil the surprise, because this would be well out before the solicits for April.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just do it a nice old-fashioned surprise at the end of the book? That'd be great.
I mean, like what with like Broken Blade, which we haven't gotten yet, but that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but although this one has, I mean, we'll get Broken Blade eventually. That's phase more. That's coming out, but yeah, Pathfinders is also coming out. There are comics this year. There are comic books coming out this year, just nowhere near as much, as far as I know.
Not yet, anyways.
Not yet. So, yeah, that's a good point. There'll be time to do it. I'm probably gonna jump straight to the. Probably not gonna jump straight to the end when I read this, but
yeah, don't do that. Come on.
No, never mind.
I want to see what's in that cave. I want to see, or the vault. What's actually in the vault? Is it just a metaphorical lesson or something, or is there actually some device that he finds, some artifact, which might be like the old Republic artifact, and that'll be our first like glimpse at like a new era of Star Wars? Or I could see something like that happening, like, oh, here's this artifact from the old Republic. And then because Charles Soule did that with his the Rise of Kylo Ren. He put in freaking what's her name as a hologram.
Oh,
we didn't know it at the time.
Yeah, Avar
Chris was in
with
there
the armor.
No.
Yeah, with the armor too.
Yeah. So there you go. But it's the precedent has been set. You could start teasing next era with this or something.
I mean, we also know Charles has also had an old Republic-ish character in Vader's castle called certain Darth Momin. Whose history is tied up with Mustafar. So yeah, maybe. I don't know. We know on the cover it's Kylo Ren fighting a vision of Vader.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've already sort of had that a little bit in the previous issue, right? But yeah. Remembering correctly. So, yeah. I keep saying, I'll say this again. 2 things I keep saying. If in any other year, Legacy of Vader would have a good run as maybe the best comic of the year, there have been some decent comics. It hasn't been bad. There's been some good comics: Jedi Knights, Hunt for the Falcon, Boba Fett, Black, White, and Red. Some different books. Legacy of Vader, far and away the best comic of 2025, and here it is about to finish in the second week of comics in 2026. But yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna look back. We're gonna briefly look back on all of Hunt for the Falcon as we do, but then I gotta actually read 1 to 11 now. I forgot about that. I gotta do that. Read it again. I've read it already. Read it again. So yeah, check that out. Same Catacoot time, same Mandalorian channel, right here on next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But yeah, that does it for the first Tractor and Comics reviews of 2026. Chris, glad to be back. Good to see you back. Thanks for jumping in as always. Where can they find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me over at youtube.com/StarRaptor, where I have all of my recaps of said comics come out about 2 p.m. Eastern time on the day of Wednesday every week. I also have a review for a non-Star Wars thing coming out tomorrow afternoon. That's my review of The Witcher Crossroads of Ravens, the latest of the Witcher saga prequel, if you will, of all the events that happened in that amazing series. So I have that book review coming out. Not doing any live content on the show this week for our transmission. We're taking a break, but we'll be back the following week to see if these rumors are even true of what's happening with the Lucasfilm leadership. If Variety and Hollywood Reporter and Deadline don't report it, then I'm skeptical at best. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But yeah, you can find me over on YouTube, and you can find me over on twitter.com/StarRaptor for the latest on everything else I like to talk about. But yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to talk about comics. Another new year. Very excited for the Maul series that's going to be coming out for comics, as well as the Pathfinder series. Really looking forward to more High Republic content in an era where I really like the exploration. So going to be good.
It's going to be fun. You can find me on what are those apps? Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. Mainly Instagram, MNEUG1138. Also, the Tractor Biscuit.social and Ion Cannon Pod, or just Ion Cannon.biscuit.social, because on the Ion Cannon podcast this past Monday, Joel and I we basically joined the podcast area again, talking about a lot of the screen stuff coming out this year. Did a year preview 2026, and we spent a lot of time on the films and the shows, but that's good. We did get into the books and different things and what comics there are and aren't. But check that out. This coming Monday, we're talking finally about Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire. I finally read that book. I finally finished it. And yeah, we're going to talk about it because it's the kind of thing that gets to the heart of what the Iron Cannon podcast is. But then, of course, getting to the heart of what the Tractor Comics Reviews is next week. Joel is, of course, going to join us for that. Both those sequel stories. I'm going to hopefully spend a good amount of time for that one to go a little bit longer, talking about Legacy Vader as a series, and then maybe what might come next. So yeah, come back for that right here next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But until then, Chris, happy reading.